All right, I'm at the wilderness boundary. In spite of how it's spelled, this is actually pronounced, this wilderness is pronounced Paposha. I know how it's spelled, but it's pronounced Paposha. So this is the outlet of Upper Silas Lake. It kind of braids, and I crossed the little one just a minute ago. Now I got to cross this one. This is always the tougher one in here, and sometimes you have to do it wet. Yeah. Okay, this looks a little better. Depending on how stable it is, it looks fairly stable. Oh yeah. And I'm telling you, this isn't even high water. I would have hated to have done this 3 weeks ago. So this is basically a little makeshift bridge that hikers have made, and really this stream, because it's steep in here and you could fall, they really need to put a little bridge in, a permanent bridge in on this thing. Anyway, well, good morning. It is Wednesday, July 31st. 2024, last day in July, and I'm in the Wind River Range 2 weeks after my last set of hikes, except this time I'm on the east side. I'm on the Lander side. I am I'm probably about a half a mile below Upper Silas Lake. I'm camped down at the Fiddler Lake Campground, and my plan is to do a couple of day hikes in here, and fish the various lakes in the basin. I visited this basin, I think, more than any other basin in the West. I've been here, I think this will be my 6th or 7th trip in 20 years. I was last here 3 years ago. And did a day hike up to Island Lake. Yeah. So the plan today is, well, the first thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to locate. There should be, and I should be getting close to it, there should be a beaten footpath over to Tomahawk Lake, which should be off to my left. And that, I first fished that lake, I think 20 years ago. I haven't fished it since. It has brookies and Snake River cutthroat in it. Kind of off the beaten path. If you can find the path, it's very easy to get to. I don't even know if it's a quarter of a mile off the trail, but supposedly there's a unmaintained footpath that takes off to my left here. So I'm trying to locate that. So the plan today is, I took the, as I said, I'm camped down at Fiddler Lake. I took the Christina Lake Trail to the Upper Silas Lake Trail. And I'm going to get to Upper Silas and see how I feel. And if I feel good, I may push on up to Island Lake in the upper basin. Okay, this footpath should be around here somewhere, if there's one. If there's not, I think you just walk to your left and through the woods and you'll find it. But I should be close to it. Like I said, I've visited this area a lot in 20 years. Easy to get into. It's about 3.2 miles to Upper Silas, and then it's another 1.4 miles to Island Lake. And of course, above Island there's an unnamed lake called Deer, some people call it Fawn, and it has Snake River cutthroats as well. And then at the head of the basin is Thumb Lake, which I've always wanted to fish. It's about 6 miles to Thumb from the trailhead. It's not too bad of a hike to get into some golden trout. It's a good golden lake from what I hear, but it can be a little bit much for a day hike. Had a lot of issues in these mountains with altitude sickness over the years. Seems like I get it reliably over about 9,500 feet, but the last few things I've been doing, last few trips, I've been using ibuprofen, with the trick being you take 3 tablets. That lake should be right over here. You take 3 tablets about 6 hours before hiking, and then you take another 3 every 8 hours after. It's talked about in the Wilderness Medical Society management guidelines for acute mountain sickness. You can Google it and find the protocol. Seems to work. I used it 2 weeks ago and when I was over on the west side, and it seemed to help. And this morning, I'm not noticing any issues. So anyway, enough of me talking, more to come. So that's the trail I'm on, going to Upper Silas, and look what we have here. I believe this is the footpath, the unmaintained trail to Tomahawk Lake. Okay. right. This is Island Lake at the in Silas Canyon. And there's a cut right there. Look at him. I don't know if you can see him, and he's, see if I can focus in on him. Yeah, there's a cutthroat right there. So this must be part of the Silas Lake Welcoming Committee here. He's about 11 inches maybe. Looks like he might be a Snake River fine spot. So this lake there's a few fish rising. This lake has cutthroats that drift down from island. It has brook trout, and it also has tiger trout in it, which is a cross between a brown and a brook trout. It's a fertile cross. They stock it. They stock them in here. I don't know if it's every 2 years or every 4 years, but the idea being to munch on some of the smaller fish, and thereby the brookies and the cuts get to be a larger size. So you can catch tiger trout in here. There are fish rising out here. Interestingly enough, I don't see anybody here. Right up there in the basin is where Island sits, and then fawn, deer, whatever you want to call it, and then thumb at the top of the basin up there. Yeah, so what I should do is I should stay here and fish, and maybe fish tomahawk, but I'm feeling okay, and I'm tempted to go up into the upper basin up to Island. It's about a 400-foot climb, but yeah. One of the problems is I walk by this lake too often. It's a lot of people camp here, and it gets hammered, but it's still a pretty good lake to fish. And then of course there's tomahawk, and I want to fish both of these lakes while I'm here. So anyway. All right, so I'm above Upper Silas. I'm on the footpath, or the unmaintained trail, to Island Lake. You can kind of see it's starting to break out of the timber. Down there is the outlet of Island Lake. All in all, this is a pretty good unmaintained trail or footpath. It fades out in a couple places and you can lose it, but you usually get back to it. Yeah, so there's a pretty good climb coming out of Upper Silas, getting up here. And as I remember, the rest of it's not too bad. Okay. Yeah. So the last major obstacle here is getting to the lake. You got to cross the inlet stream. So there's the lake. I don't know if you can see it, but there's the lake. So I just got to get across this, and that's the last major obstacle. Big old cut. Big old cut. Look at that. Yeah. So I'm on the, I don't know what this is, the east side of the lake. This is where I was last time. And this area in here, there's some drop off. There's some deep water here, drop off. I did pretty well here considering how picky these fish are. This lake, the cutthroats in it, most of them are, 11 to 13 inches, but it does throw quite a bit bigger fish up to about 16, maybe even 18 inches, but they can be very picky. A lot of people fish it. Yeah, so, but I did well over here the last time considering how picky they are. So, yeah. And then, of course, thumb's right up there. About 3/4 of a mile. Okay, it's like, what time is this? 12:20. So I walked past, I hiked to Upper Silas this morning, and I felt pretty good. No problems with the altitude. So I came up here to Island Lake. Took a leisurely pace up here. Got up here about 10:30. And I don't know, evidently the ibuprofen thing works pretty well because I'm feeling just fine. So, yeah. If I can just get the camera right. There we go. So yeah, I'm feeling just fine, and that's the good news. The bad news is the fishing up here is terrible. Yeah, so I've just been straight line nymphing, and there's a little ripple on the water. It's supposed to be maybe a little breezy. What's weird, normally I see way more fish cruising and rising, and I'm only seeing just a couple, just like, 2, maybe 3 that are patrolling. A lot of fingerlings out there, but as far as adult fish that are cruising and hunting, there's very few, and so there's plenty of reproduction in this lake, so it's not like there's not adults here. It's the issue, I think. The only thing I can think of is this high pressure that we've been having up here, and the fact that it may have drug a cold front through last night and this morning may have put them down a little bit. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm gonna eat a little bit of lunch, and I think I'm gonna switch over to I'm gonna hang a couple nymphs under a strike indicator and see if they're skulking near the bottom. They may respond to a static presentation. The 2 or 3 fish that I have seen cruising and rising, they're taking really, really tiny things, and I saw that last time I was here too. So on another note, the other thing that is interesting, I'm up here, it's 4.6 miles up to this lake. This is a fairly popular basin, and I have not seen one other person in here today. Last night there were, I think, 3 or maybe 4 vehicles parked at the Christina Lake trailhead, but who knows where they were going. Were they coming up here? Were they going over to Christina Lake? I don't know, but I haven't seen anybody. Didn't see anybody camp down at Upper Silas, which very, very surprising. And the campground, there's only like 3 people there. Interesting, very light visitation up here, and I kind of noticed that 2 weeks ago over on the west side. You know, even hiking on the Pole Creek Trail out of Belcart Park, I only saw a couple of people, a couple of hikers, and the parking lot wasn't. It was basically a quarter full there. So I don't know what's going on, but it seems like the visitation this summer and the winds is down. Don't know what the deal with that is, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. So yeah, I've had it all to myself up here. But yeah, I wish the fishing were better. So anyway, more to come. Okay, it's a little bit before 1 o'clock. So I've kind of re-rigged here. This is kind of a shot in the dark, but so I've got I'm hanging 2 nymphs under a strike indicator. The point fly is a zucchini Corona mid pupil with a silver rib, and then the top dropper is a green cheek dial Bach. This is kind of the same combination that worked well for me last year in Montana, back home in Montana in the high mountain lakes and the Pintlers. So we'll see. I don't know. The way these fish are acting, I don't know if that'll even get them to move. We'll see. Okay, Island Lake. Departing shots a little bit before 2 on July 31st, Wednesday, 2024. Wish this thing would have fished better. Pretty lake though, pretty up here. Nice day. All right, I'm about, 15-20 minutes out of Island Lake, making the descent towards Upper Silas. All right, so this is Tomahawk Lake. I'm heading down to the campground. I just thought I'd take a quick detour to get here. I haven't seen it. I fished it 20 years ago on my very first trip in here. There's a fish that rose right there. There he is again. Now this lake has, it's listed as having brook trout and Snake River cutthroat in it. Well, good morning. It's Thursday, August 1st, 2024. This is day 2 of my Wind River Range day hike fishing trips. This is going to be my final day. I'm about, half a mile, maybe a little more below Upper Silas. Still toying with the destination for today. The plan had been to go to Upper Silas, cross the outlet, fish on the other side, and then if time permitted, maybe fish Tomahawk Lake. Kind of vacillating with maybe just going to Tomahawk. just because of maybe fewer people there. Yesterday, I didn't see a soul until 2 p.m. when I was coming down the trail. I had Island Lake all to myself. The fishing was terrible. First time I've been skunked at that lake in 20 years. Coming out, I saw a bunch of people, mostly at Upper Silas or headed to Upper Silas. I saw, I think, 6 backpackers there, and then several day hikers. Everybody I've talked to indicated that the fishing at Upper Silas was very poor. So, considering what I saw at Island yesterday, maybe it's weather related. You know, sunny, very high pressure, been like this. Maybe that's caused a slowdown. I don't know. Would like to catch some fish. But we'll just have to see how the day plays out. So, more to come. All right, it's 9:15 a.m. Thursday, August 1st. I'm at Upper Silas. I am crossing this log jam at the outlet. There's a trail over there, and I'm going to fish. I'm going to try to fish alongside the lake here, this side of the lake. Don't know if you can see them there, but there's a number of fish right there in the outlet. There's a fish. It's either a tiger or a cut. So there's a very nice cut right there. He's a good 11 inches. Yeah, nice cut. So that's a little tiger trout right there, I think. It may be a cut. And then I think what we've got there is a brook trout. I like this area in here. There's some decent fish. There's not going to be trophies in here, no doubt, but it is a chance to catch a tiger. That's mainly why I'm here. I kind of like this. It has access to deeper water, so we'll just have to see how it fishes. Well, I caught the one tiger, and this looks like another one. Actually, I've got 2 fish here. I've got a tiger and a brook trout. Alright, so it's a nice little tiger. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get the tiger first. Come on, bud. Yeah, I know I don't have my net. Yeah. Okay, there's your tiger trout. And then let's get the brookie out of here. Little brook trout. So all I'm doing here is just straight line nymphing. So I've got about a 12-foot leader. On the point is a black dial bach, and the dropper is a red holographic Nemo. I'm just throwing it out there. I give it about a 15-second count or so, and then just a hand twist retrieve. And on that last one where I hooked those two fish, they took it as soon as the fly hit the water. So, yeah, and somebody just messed with it again, just bumped it again. All right, and then we just give it a slow hand twist retrieve and see what happens. I'm probably gonna have to move. I've caught 3 fish here, and I probably scared the rest off, so. Another little brookie. They're not real big in here. I saw some at Tomahawk yesterday, though, I saw one that 11, 12 inches. Little brook trout. So there's a bunch of fish in here. Literally a bunch of fish, and some of them are decent size too. So what I did here is I got the other rod rigged up with an indicator and 2 nymphs, and I moved over here. It's a little point of rocks, and I just looked like some good water, so I hung it right off. I hung the nymphs right off these rocks, and I got a little brookie here. I took the green cheek dial bach, and there he goes. So I just missed one because I wasn't paying attention, and so I'm just hanging it right off these rocks here. These fish are cruising right along these rocks, and so the idea being, as they cruise, hopefully they'll see them. made too big of a mend there, but oh well. All right, another little brookie. There's a really nice cut over here. I'm trying to figure out how to catch without going to a dry fly. All right, there we go. I don't know, I think that's 6. I've lost a lot of fish and missed a lot fishing this indicator, but better than yesterday. So I got one of these cuts over here in the shallow water. I didn't know if I could catch them or not. Oh, he's a brookie. Well, that's too bad. I was hoping to catch one of these. Some of these cuts over here are pretty nice. So, oh, he's pretty brookie. Oh wow, that's a pretty brookie. Wow. Okay. It's not a trophy, but he's certainly pretty. So this is my 8th fish today. Now here, I think we got a bigger fish. And he hit it like a freight train. What we've got here is this brookie, another little brookie. This is my first cut of the day. Well, little cut. About 11 inches. No. Let's not make a mess of things here. Let's not make a mess of my leader. Or your mouth. There you go. Little cut. Pretty day up here. It's a little afternoon, about 12:15 or so. I'm having lunch. Pretty day up here. I've caught 10 or 11. Nothing big, but better than the 0 I caught yesterday up at Island. Okay, this is Tomahawk Lake, and what I'm showing you here is a 4, maybe a 5-star campsite. Look at this. Everybody camps on the south side of Upper Silas. Nobody camps here, although you can tell at some point there's a lot of campsites around that would be excellent campsites around here. Plenty of firewood too. Yeah, there's the fire pit, and then I'm not sure what that is, but it looks man-made. There's your tent area there, maybe even a tent area back there. Yeah, and then you got the lake. You got this peninsula right out here that I like, that I want to fish off of. Okay. Fascinating. So I fished this lake in 2004, 20 years ago. Looks like there's deeper water over here. Yeah. So check this out. Nice little peninsula here. I saw this yesterday. Thought maybe this would be cool to get over here. So this lake is listed as having brook trout and Snake River cutthroats in it. All I've ever caught, the one time I fished it, were brook trout. I kind of wondered if the survey data was old and maybe it just has brookies, but I don't know. It seems like it was about 10 years ago, 8 years ago. Wyoming Fish and Game did tell me that no, they surveyed this and there were some Snake River cuts in here. As far as size goes, you know, I've heard reports of fish up to 16 inches in here. Yeah, maybe. Everything I've caught out of here before was, can I navigate this? I don't know. Everything I've caught out of here was, yeah, this could be tough getting over here. Everything I caught out of here was like 9 to 12 inches. Now, yesterday, I saw some fish that, I saw, you know, a lot of fish 8 to 10 inches, but I did see one that was 11 or 12, so just have to see. Okay, so I'm fishing off these rocks, and it's fairly deep out here. Yeah, my very first cast, there's a fish that rose over here. My very first cast, I caught a little guy. So far that's been it. There's one right there. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day. I've been fishing for about 45 minutes. I picked up that one little dink on my first cast. I've had a couple of hits. I've had a couple of follows, but yeah, that's about it. Just been straight line nymphing in here, and could be the time of day. I don't know. These lakes can be like that when there's big high pressure in. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna fix my feet, and I've got some blisters I got to deal with, or hot spots, and then I'm gonna head down the hill. So I'm on my way out. Yeah, tomahawk, not very good. I saw fish in there. There's fish in there. They just weren't really interested in much. But and I just saw another group of backpackers coming in. Yeah, disappointing with the fishing. Although I did all right at Upper Silas this morning. You know, I caught 10 in about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. Including 2 tiger trout, my first tiger trout. So, you know, it wasn't a bust. Don't know what happened yesterday at Island. I've never seen the lake like that. It's always finicky. They're always tough, but there just wasn't a lot of fish moving yesterday, which is unusual for that lake. Don't know if it's weather related, but the lakes up here are a lot of people. But it's an enjoyable trip, getting out, getting out, a lot of good hiking. I didn't have issues with the altitude, which is a first for me over here. So maybe the ibuprofen. My last 2 trips have been using the ibuprofen, taking it, starting at about 6 hours before hiking, so like 2 in the morning, and then every 8 hours after that, and it seems to work. So anyway, that's all. This is day 2 in the books.